Hello and welcome to another episode of Mike Talks About Subaru. Today I'd like to introduce you to the 2021 Subaru Outback Premium Package with Option Package 13. This is the 21 Outback in the Magnetite Gray. Traditionally, I start from the inside and show you all the technology, all the buttons inside, but today I'm going to go a little bit different because this Package 13 adds on a few things I want to show you from the outside. First of all, it's going to have the push button start with the keyless access and entry. One of the cool things that they've added this year with that's going to be the rear gate opening. You can open it the traditional way. It's a power gate now on this, and you can do it with the button underneath. You press the button, it's going to open up. Press the button, it's going to close. But what's different about it this year is as long as you have the access key with you within proximity, if you take a hand and just hold it in front of the Subaru emblem for a few seconds, it'll give you a beep and it's going to open right up. So if you have a hands full of groceries and you can't reach in for that button, just hold right in front of that and it's going to open. Now you do have to have that key with you in order for that to work. Now another feature that they've added is going to be in the privacy screen, where as opposed to having to deal with pulling it out and shuffle it into the little holes there, it has a feature that when you just push down on it, it's going to retract upward, giving you more of an opening to work with, and then all you've got to do is drag it down and that's going to cover everything up for you. You can still do it the traditional way, pull it out and release it. Both ways are going to work. Traditional with the Outback over the last few generations has been automatic rear seat fold down by using the handles in the side. You pull those and the seat's gonna go down. While we're talking about the seats, not only do they fold flat, they can also recline. You'll find a handle to the side of each of the seats. Pull up on the handle, push back on the seat, and you've got recline. We do have the USB charging port. Those are charge only. They don't do access to the radio or anything like that for back here. And then of course you have your little compartment behind both seats. As I mentioned, this is the keyless access and entry. Once you get in the car, starting it up, you have to have a key in the vehicle. Put your foot on the brake and press the start button. From this point, what I'm going to do is basically a quick tutorial on what each of the buttons do throughout the car and just give you a general understanding of how this all works. So starting here on the left, you're going to have your toggle for your mirror, L for the left, R for the right, and then it's just a joystick to move the mirror around. You have your door lock function here. Your windows up and down, it's an auto up and down, so just single push, single pull, it does it. You don't have to hold your finger for the front windows. Rear windows are here, and then your window lockout, so it will lock the passengers out of control of their windows. Each of your vents, left and right, are going to have the open and close. Same thing over there. The middle vents will slide open, push down to close them, and then you have your left and right toggle for those. Down below, in front of your left knee, you're going to find your switches to open and close your tailgate. The brightness for your dash lights is going to be located here. The further up, the brighter they are. Further down, dimmer they get. And then the final button that you're going to have is for the easy entry for the rear gate. If you have that engaged, it turns that function off. Hit it again to release it, and that activates that function. Coming up to your steering wheel, the left and right will go through your preset radio stations. You've got volume up and volume down. Source will switch between AM, FM, auxiliary, CD if you have one installed. Now, it does not come standard with a CD player anymore. Those do retail for around $500, I believe. They actually install it in the armrest here. This piece is actually removed, a whole new piece is put in with the CD player right up front. The talk button to give commands to the radio, to do phone calls. If you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can use that button to talk to your Google Assistant or your Siri. This is going to be answer the phone for Bluetooth and hang up the phone. Below there, you'll have these buttons actually pull towards you, and those are going to go through option screens up on the center between your tachometer and speedometer. Doesn't matter if you hit up or down, you eventually end up at the same place. And what you're going to have here is your clock, outdoor temperature, average miles per gallon, approximate distance until empty, your instant miles per gallon, again approximate distance till empty, how long the car has been running, how far you've driven since you started it. This one shows you your auto start stop, how long it's been active, how much gas it has saved you, your tire pressure of each individual tire, and the radio station that you're on. To the right side of the steering wheel, we're going to have the cruise control functions are here. The first button to the top right turns cruise control on or off. Now when you turn it on, you're going to see the car, your digital speedometer below it, and below there will be the speed you have your cruise control set to. The buttons to the left, you have up and down. Those are going to increase or decrease the distance between you and the lead vehicle that your car has acquired for the cruise control function. And then you have your up and down here. Down is going to be set and coast. Up is resume and accelerate. Once you've set your speed, each time you tap down or up, it's going to go first to the nearest 5 mile per hour increment. So if you had set to 62 and then tapped up, first it would go to 65, and then after that 70, 75, and if you had gone down, it'd go from that 62 to 60, and then 55, so on and so forth. And the last button on there is going to be your lane centering. So lane centering works in conjunction with the actual cruise control. When you turn that on, this little emblem here will turn green when you're using your cruise control. It'll indicate if the lane centering is actually active. And what that's going to do, it will actually center you in between the two lane markings. You'll feel it in your steering wheel as you hold on. You'll feel slight nudging in the steering wheel as it's keeping you in between those lines. You're always going to want to make sure your hands are on the wheel. You are still in control of the vehicle. It is just assisting you. Your tripometer is going to be located right here. Press that to switch between trip A and trip B. Press and hold on whichever tripometer you're on to reset that back to 0. When you're looking at your average miles per gallon, that's going to be based on whatever tripometer it is that you have active. Behind the wheel, to the left, we have your headlights, off, auto. The auto function also does high beam assist. So if you have it on auto and high beam, anytime there's approaching lights or if there's tail lights ahead of you, it will dim automatically to the low beam setting and automatically go back to high beam when it's safe. This position here is going to be your side marker lights, and then on all the time. Push forward for high beam, pull back for low beam. So high beam, low beam. And then of course blinkers up and down. The inside knob is going to control your fog lights off, fog lights on. To the right hand side, you'll find your windshield wiper wand. Down one click is intermittent, second click is going to be a low speed, third click is high speed. When you're using intermittent, the inside knob is going to control that speed. The further down you roll it, the shorter the pause between the wipes. Pull the whole thing towards you, is going to squirt your windshield, release it, and it will wipe it down a couple of times. The outside of that knob will control your rear wiper. Roll it backwards. It's going to squirt the rear window until you release it, and then it's going to wipe a few times. Intermittent for the rear, continuous for the rear, and from there you can also roll it forwards to squirt that rear window. These are your paddle shifters. Shift down and shift up. So you have a manual mode in this car. Straight back puts you in regular drive. Over to the left puts you in a manual mode where you can actually shift through virtual gears with the CVT transmission. It's going to start you off in first gear or second. Now if we were going down the road and we're in regular drive and I hit that shift button, it will put you to the nearest gearing ratio for the speed that you're going, and will automatically adjust back to regular drive mode once the car knows it's safe to do so. Moving on from there, we'll take a look at the radio. Now there is quite a glare in here right now, so bear with me as I try to get this so we can see it good. Up top, it's going to show you your outdoor temperature, your time, and then below there it's going to be a little quick screen here. Shows us what radio station we're on, engine temperature, oil temperature, average speed on the tripometer that you're on, weather for whatever area you've selected in the XM Travel Link app, and then a quick switch for X mode on and off. Below there you'll find all your buttons for your touchscreen. Radio on, radio, switch to your FM. Up here, your AM, your Sirius XM. Down here you'll find your high def radio on, replay, so that if you take a phone call, if you have replay active, you'll be able to rewind as long as you haven't switched radio stations to wherever the call was interrupted or the radio was interrupted. And then your station list. Down here is your preset stations. It's just press and hold while you're on a station you like, and it will program it into the selected button. Home screen, by pressing the home button there. You've got media, which will bring up your options if you have Bluetooth set up, USB plugged in down in the USB port, iPhone through the 3.5mm jack, and auxiliary as well down there. Phone is where you'll press if you want to set up your Bluetooth, if you want to look at your phone list, call log, and phone dialer. Here on apps, you're going to find Subaru Starlink, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Travel Link, which uses a Sirius XM to connect you for fuel pricing, sports updates, stock updates, weather, weather alerts, and parking. And then My Subaru, which you can use if you're signed up for the Starlink Safety and Security. You can get your roadside assistance. You can call concierge if you have the concierge set up on there. And appointment scheduler. Car info is going to give you a few things. Your angle of approach. You're going to have your systems, what's turned on. If it's in green, the system's active. If you click on the little icon for each one, it will actually tell you what that system is, what the system does, and where you have to go to turn it off. And then under maintenance, it'll just show you when your first oil change is due, tire rotation, first regular scheduled maintenance. All that's going to be programmed in by your dealership. Subaru Starlink is a program that you can download onto your phone. Connects to your radio with your phone and gives you different applications. Also gives you things like the quick reference guide at your fingertips. So if you want to find out what a certain icon is, if it shows up on your dashboard, it'll show you right in there. Settings is going to bring up all your vehicle settings. So general settings, sound settings, phone settings. This is where you can choose how you want your clock set. If you want it set manually so you control it, or automatic so that it's set to your cell phone. Turning your Wi-Fi on and off if you have a subscription for that. There's all sorts of things you can find in here. How you want your tire pressure units. If you want a welcome screen, the goodbye screen on. Birthday reminders, anniversary reminders. You'll find all that under that general settings. Sound, you can adjust your notification volumes, beep settings, things like that for the eyesight. Phone, managing devices, messaging, what the device name is called. So if you wanted to change the name of this radio, you can. Turning on HD for each of the individual radio settings here. And then car settings, your eyesight if you want to turn it off. This is the kind of the longer way to get into eyesight settings here. Down here, you're going to have profile, so you can set it up for individual drivers, and that's going to basically set your preset stations to each driver. Then just basic radio settings that you have set. And then this button here is going to be quick controls for the car. So vehicle control, you'll see up here, is going to be your turning on and off your traction control, the X mode, whether or not you have your auto vehicle hold turned on or off, steering responsive headlights, the auto start stop, driving assistance here, turning on and off your pre-collision braking, your lane departure prevention if it's just a buzzer, if it actually nudges the steering wheel, if you want both or if you want it off completely, and turning off blind spot and rear cross traffic alert. And you can also set your units, miles per gallon, or kilometers per hour, liters, all that type of stuff is going to be right in there. Below that is going to be climate control. So on climate control, the Premium is going to have the dual climate control. Driver's side temperature can be controlled with the hard touch buttons to the outside, so long as the system is turned on. Passenger side, same idea. You can use the hard touch buttons to the outside. Turning fan speed down, I can use these buttons here. I can open up the control panel by pressing here, and here I can select fan speed. I can select where I want it to blow, maximum AC, automatic, air recirculator on and off, that'll be found in there. I can also access driver's side temperature by pressing right here. That's also going to give me my heated seat option for the driver's side. You got high, medium, low, off. For temperature, you can press up and down. You can poke it where you want it. You can drag and drop. If I don't touch this screen for about 5 seconds, it's going to just go back to the regular home screen. Passenger side, same idea. Press the button, it's going to bring it up. I have my passenger side heated seat. Passenger side temperature is going to be here. Got a volume knob, tuner knob, full front defrost, rear defrost, heated mirrors, and wiper de-icer. They have gone to electronic parking brake. Now with the Outback, this is going to be the 3rd generation with the electronic parking brake. They have moved the location of it a few different times. Originally they had it over on the dashboard. They moved it behind the shifter for the previous generation, and now it's right up here. To engage that, you just pull up on it. To disengage it, the car has to be on, foot has to be pressed on the brake, and you push down on it. Up here you're going to have your SOS, emergency response, and roadside assistance. Your holder for glasses. Map lights, you just press to turn those on and off. Little shelf here, you can put your passenger cell phone, notebook, things like that, whatever you want to put there really. And then you've got your glove box. And that is basically everything on this car. If you do have any further questions, feel free to leave any comments. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great day.